5 seconds. Start. British India was divided into what were called the British Indian provinces and the princely states. The British Indian provinces were directly under the control of the British government. On the other hand, several large and small states ruled by princes called the princely states enjoyed some form of control over their internal affairs as long as they accepted British supremacy. This was called paramountcy or suzerainty of the British Crown. Princely states covered 1/3 of the land area of the British Indian Empire, and 1 out of 4 Indians lived under princely rule. Just before independence, it was announced by the British that with the end of their rule over India, paramountcy of the British Crown over princely states would also lapse. This meant that all these states, as many as 565 in all, would become legally independent. The British government took the view that all these states were free to join either India or Pakistan or remain independent if they so wished. The decision was left not to the people but to the princely rulers of these states. This was a very serious problem that and could threaten the very existence of a united India. The problem started very soon. First of all, the ruler of Travancore announced that the state had decided on independence. The Nizam of Hyderabad made a similar announcement the next day. Rules like the Nawab of Bhopal were averse to joining the Constituent Assembly. This response to the rulers of the princely state meant that after independence there was a very real possibility that India would get further divided into a number of small countries. The prospects of democracy for the people in these states also looked bleak. This was a strange situation since the Indian independence was aimed at unity, self-determination as well as democracy. In most of these princely states, government were run in a non-democratic manner and the rulers were unwilling to give democratic rights to their population. The interim government took a firm stance against the possible division of India into small principalities of different sizes. The Muslim League opposed the Indian National Congress and took the view that the states should be free to adopt any course they liked. Sardar Patel was India's Deputy Prime Minister and the Home Minister during the crucial period immediately following independence. He played a historic role in negotiating with the rulers of princely states formally but diplomatically and bringing most of them into the Indian Union. It was a very complicated task which required skillful persuasion. There were 20 small states in today's Odisha. Saurashtra region of Gujarat had 14 big states, 119 small states and numerous other different administration. The government's approach was guided by three considerations. Firstly, the people of the princely states clearly wanted to become part of Indian Union. Secondly, the government was prepared to be flexible in giving autonomy to some region. The idea was to accommodate plurality, to adopt a flexible approach in dealing with the demands of the region. Thirdly, in the backdrop of partition which brought into focus the contest over demarcation of territory, the integration and consolidation of the territorial boundaries of the nation had assumed supreme importance. Before 15 August 1947, peaceful negotiation had brought almost all states whose territories were contiguous to the new boundaries of India into the Indian Union. The rulers of most of the states signed a document called the Instrument of Accession, which meant that their state agreed to become a part of Union of India. Accession of the princely states of Junagadh, Hyderabad, Kashmir and Manipur proved more difficult than the rest. The issue of Junagadh was resolved after a plebiscite confirmed people's desire to join India. Hyderabad, the largest of the princely states, was surrounded entirely by Indian territory. Some part of the old Hyderabad state are today part of Maharashtra, Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh. Its ruler carried the title Nizam and he was one of the world's richest men. The Nizam wanted an independent status for Hyderabad. He entered into what was called the Standstill Agreement with India in November 1947 for a year while negotiations with the Indian government were going on. In the meantime, a movement of the people of Hyderabad state against the Nizam's rule gathered force. The peasantry in the Telangana region in particular was the victim of Nizam's oppressive rule and rose against him. Women who had seen the worst of this oppression joined the movement in large number. Hyderabad town was the nerve center of this movement. The Communist and the Hyderabad Congress were in the forefront of the movement. The Nizam responded by unleashing a paramilitary force known as the Razakars on the people. The atrocities and communal nature of the Razakars knew no bounds. They murdered, maimed, raped and looted, targeting particularly the non-Muslims. The central government had to order the army to tackle the situation. In September 1948, Indian Army moved in to control the Nizam's forces. After a few days of intermittent fighting, the Nizam surrendered. This led to Hyderabad's accession to India. A few days before independence, the Maharaja of Manipur, Bodha Chandra Singh, signed the instrument of accession with the Indian government on the assurance that the internal autonomy of Manipur would be maintained. Under the pressure of public opinion, the Maharaja held election in Manipur in June 1948 and the state became a constitutional monarchy. Thus, Manipur was the first part of India to hold an election based on universal adult franchise. In the Legislative Assembly of Manipur, there were sharp differences over the question of merger of Manipur with India. While the state Congress wanted the merger, other political parties were opposed to this. The government of India succeeded in pressurizing the Maharaja into signing a merger agreement in September 1949 without consulting the popularly elected Legislative Assembly of Manipur. This caused a lot of anger and resentment in Manipur, the repercussions of which are still being felt. Full stop.